Hello guys, welcome to an active decathlon microeconomics video, and this concept, equilibrium shifts, seems to be one that a lot of people have problems with, so I decided just to make a quick video to go a little bit more into depth about this subject. So, equilibrium shifts are caused by shifts in supply or demand, the shifts of the entire curve. It doesn't have anything to do with the changes in price, that only changes the quantity demanded and quantity supplied. These are talking about the many factors that actually change the demand and supply curve, what effect that has on equilibrium. So in my demand and supply videos, I go over all those reasons why. And if you don't remember those reasons, you should check out those videos. This is just going to be about what happens to equilibrium price and quantity when a curve shifts. So it's important to know when a curve shifts to the right, that is an increase. And when the curve shifts to the left, that is a decrease. So for example, an increase in demand would be a shift right in demand. A decrease in supply would be a shift left in supply. Okay, so let's start with an example. So what happens when demand increases? So that would mean demand shifts to the right. So you have the demand curve, remember it's the downward sloping one, and you just literally move it to the right like this. And I'd like to mark it demand 2 and demand 1. So now notice how the supply and demand curves intersect at a new point here. And using the axes, you can see that it increased in price, and it also increased in quantity because quantity is on the x-axis, price is on the y-axis. And so you can say the equilibrium price and quantity both increased. Here's another example. What would happen if supply decreased? So supply would shift to the left. So you draw the supply curve to the left like this. And notice how equilibrium price is greater, equilibrium quantity is less. So you can say that the equilibrium price increased while the equilibrium quantity decreased. Now there's a few questions like this. So what happened if the equilibrium price increased but the equilibrium quantity decreased? Well, you just draw a decrease in equilibrium quantity, so like this, and an increase in equilibrium price, so like this, and you find yourself on the supply curve. But how do we get equilibrium to be that point? In order to be there, equilibrium is on the demand curve. So how do we get the equilibrium to be that point? And you have to shift the supply curve to the left, as we were talking about in our previous example. So a shift left in supply will cause an increase in equilibrium price, but a decrease in equilibrium quantity. So here's another one. What would have to happen for a decrease in equilibrium price and a decrease in equilibrium quantity? Well, you do a decrease in equilibrium price, a decrease in equilibrium quantity, and we find ourselves on the supply curve. And in order to get there, we have to shift demand to the left, like this. And so a decrease in demand would have to be there to cause a decrease in equilibrium price and a decrease in equilibrium quantity. I hope this video helped explain this more. If you're still having problems solving these questions, I recommend that you draw the graph, experiment with it, shifting the demand curve right and left, supply curve right and left as well, and just kind of seeing all the things that happen when you shift the curves with equilibrium. Thank you for watching.